In this video, you're going to learn how to use SubmitHub. You're going to be taught by the man who founded it himself. What's up, guys? Brandon here from KDMR Music, the channel helping you become a more successful musician. Now, welcome back, or if you're new, welcome. On this channel, we do videos every single week discussing music marketing, giving you strategy tips, and breaking down the latest music news. Now, on our podcast, Music Business Dreams, the newest episode released today, I spoke with Jason Grishkoff, who is the founder of SubmitHub and a popular music blog, Indie Shuffle. We talked about his journey in the music industry, and we talked about him starting SubmitHub and what ways artists can use SubmitHub, to see the best results. Now, what I knew going into the interview was that Jason had agreed to offer some free credits to me to test out the service for a later video. What I didn't know was that he was going to star in this video himself. So, I'm going to present to you a clip of Jason and I going through the SubmitHub process, step by step by step. I submitted a song for one of my clients and got some pretty interesting results. So first, you're going to watch us go through the submitting process, and you're going to hear all of the tips from Jason himself as he walks me through the platform personally. Then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you the results of my SubmitHub pitch and give you my thoughts on whether or not you should try it out. So let's go ahead and get it started. So should I share my screen? That's probably...
Yeah, and should I give you some credits?
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember if I already signed up.
Screen. Info at KDMR Music. Let's see if I can find your account.
I'm trying to remember if I created one already. Oh, I did. I did create an account.
What did it tell you? Did it tell you? I should be watching your screen here so I can learn lessons about how SubmitHub works.
So.
Okay, you're in.
I'm in.
Cool. I found you.
Okay. So I'm a manager. Save that.
Now you got some credits.
Okay, cool. So I guess I would click submit a song.
Yeah, that's the first place you want to go. So we're going to upload your song. Those are the different streaming platforms supported.
Okay.
I would almost always recommend going with SoundCloud.
Oh, yeah?
So a couple reasons. It's the most universally accessible. Their API, which is like the way we hook up with code, is one of the friendliest. It just works.
Gotcha.
On the complete contrast, you've got Spotify, who have this really closed ecosystem. You actually can't listen to a song out of Spotify. If you ever encounter a widget on a website that's Spotify and you click play, you'll notice that actually it's your desktop app that's playing in the background. It's not actually even playing in the browser. So you can't play Spotify outside of Spotify. And if you paste a Spotify link in here, I'm going to ask you for a backup MP3 so that we can actually play it on SubmitHub.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, because I can't otherwise. I could if I got you to connect your Spotify account to SubmitHub, but I don't want to do that. People don't connect. I don't want to ask people for permission to access their Spotify, and it's gonna be like, this app will be able to modify your playlists and stuff.
Right.
It scares people. I wouldn't want to do that. So anyway, SoundCloud, definitely the best way to go.
Gotcha.
And then you'll see once we paste this link in, it's going to ask you if you've got any additional sources. And that's where you can paste your Spotify or your YouTube or whatever.
Gotcha.
And if it's a pre-release, SoundCloud's also great for pre-releases, like secret codes. Works beautifully.
Cool. So one of the things that I do, well, like I said, I do management and marketing consulting. And most of the artists that I work with are hip hop artists. And SoundCloud has such a bad rap with them because they're like, well, why would I put it on SoundCloud for free when I could put it on Spotify and make 0.001 cents or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So the song that I was going to pitch, I don't even think is on Spotify or
that's
SoundCloud.
Cool. Well, do you have an MP3?
Let me.
Or is it on YouTube? Because we can do YouTube as well.
You know what? The video is on YouTube.
Boom. So we can lead with that one. That doesn't require a backup MP3 either, because YouTube's cool, and they let you. The main reason I need to have that MP3 and all that stuff is because of that 20-second listening thing.
Got you.
I need to be able to monitor and make sure they're listening. So YouTube, I can do that with. YouTube gives you all sorts of code if you're a developer that you can use to figure out how long someone's been listening, where they are, etc. But Spotify don't. Spotify don't do that. And I mean, that's one of the reasons Spotify's been able to monetize so well is their closed ecosystem. Like no one can steal it. But anyway, this is a good one.
Okay.
What you're going to see down here, it actually automatically fetches some other sources.
Huh.
Maybe those are right. Maybe they're wrong.
This one's right. Let's see if this one is.
It probably is. If you scroll down a bit.
Oh, scroll down.
The widget showed up a little bit below there.
Yeah, that is right.
Yep. That one's probably going to be right then. There they
Perfect. Nice.
So now what that means, actually, if you just scroll up a little bit, there's a little bit of text, which most people probably don't see. It says, can this song be streamed anywhere else? And then the sentence under says, your song can reach 100% of their curators.
Wow.
Before we had selected these others, like if you just pasted them in the YouTube, it probably would have been something like 92%.
Gotcha.
Because not all of the curators want YouTube. Some of them might want Spotify, some of them might want Apple Music. But it looks like probably just the combination of YouTube and Spotify covers everyone.
Okay, cool. So then, when was the song released? That's a good question. Let's look in Spotify real quick.
So this is what we're doing through this process is we're actually sort of pre-filtering the list of curators we're going to look at.
Oh, gotcha.
So some curators only want unreleased songs, or others only want songs that are 1 week old maximum. And so once you put in this release date, it's going to pre-filter the list. It's just going to hide those guys. It's going to be like, sorry, we already know this doesn't fit what they want. Boom. Let's not waste your time.
So this was released April 11th. That doesn't sound right. I think he released it on Friday, the 10th. All right. So let's enter the artist's name. It's not a remix or a cover song.
Cool.
Similar artist.
Yeah, this trips a lot of people up.
So what I can tell you is that when we run Facebook ads, the audience that performs really well is Isaiah Rashad. Who else is in that list? Schoolboy Q. Joey Badass. And there was one other. Earl Sweatshirt. Interestingly enough.
Huh.
It's interesting because I don't think he sounds like any of these artists, but that's the audience that his music performs best with.
Okay.
And then link to the album or EP. Should that be a Spotify link or does it matter?
If you got one, yeah, Spotify's good. So this shows up on their end as an additional format that they can go ahead and listen to.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a good one too.
Okay.
Sure.
So we'll put the fan.
I don't know how much people end up clicking on these, but I do know that when I've watched people filling out this form, they really get stuck on the similar artists. Like a lot of people, oh man, look what YouTube did to your URL.
I'm like, what is happening right now?
Maybe just try to
click
it into a tab.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna change it. I hate it when it's who does it? SoundCloud does that too.
Oh yeah.
Like none of their URLs, you think you're gonna copy it, but it's actually got their tracking code and
so unnecessary.
Boom. Cool. And then a little bio. You can edit this later too.
Okay.
But if you got something to copy paste in there, that's also good. Most of the time, this is only going to be looked at if they like your song. So this tends to be really helpful for a blog who wants to write a blog post. This is kind of one of the first places they would look. At some point, maybe I'll change this flow a little bit. I feel like people get caught up here, and this can take a long time, right?
It can, but honestly, like I've used the Spotify playlist submission tool, and it's pretty similar. The only difference
Okay,
is that you obviously don't have to put any outside links because they're trying to keep you on Spotify.
that's
But
true. That's true.
you've got to put in tags, you've got to put in a description, and then you've even got to like they say it's best to put in playlists that you think it would fit on, and it's like
Oh,
so
really?
there's a lot you have to do on the front end to pitch through Spotify's tool, and who
So
knows how
people still
effective it
do it.
really is. Yeah,
I've heard it can be effective, but
I've heard the same, but I haven't experienced it myself. So yeah,
so we got to create a new profile. Got to choose where Pat's from. I think when that list is open, if you just hit U, it'll automatically go all the way
got you.
down to the US. I think. Cool. That's it. We're done.
Okay.
So now we're presented with the question of which type of credit we're going to want to use. So I touched on these briefly when we went through, but in this case, you're going to want to use premium, right?
Right. All right.
Cool.
So I'll go ahead and hit that
And it looks
there.
like we're trending at 12% average approval rate. I can see there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gone up actually. It used to be 10, and it's gone up over the years. But we'll get into that. These are two more pre-filters, if you will.
Okay.
So the first one is this feedback thing, and I sort of mentioned. I'm just gonna take this ah, plaster off, a band-aid. We call them plasters here. Um, the feedback important. Always go with it's quite important.
Okay.
You're just gonna even if you don't want to see the feedback, just ignore it. But it forces the blogs to think, and it results in the highest approval rate
Got you.
because they
Okay.
actually have to think about your song. The second one is asking about copyright permission. So some of the most influential outlets out there are actually YouTube channels. There's still quite a few of them who can pull 500,000 plays on a video. And what they typically want is they want to be able to upload your song to their own channel. And so that's what this copyright section is asking is are you cool with that? And it's sort of got three different levels. So yeah, you're cool, and they can have the money too, which is what a lot of them want.
Okay.
And as you probably know, YouTube doesn't pay very well. So
Right.
it's like, do you want 500,000 plays or $50? And you go,
Right.
I'll take 500,000 plays.
Absolutely.
The other option is to do the same thing, but you're going to keep the money. Or the third one is just they can only use the links you've provided. And this is a pre-filter. So based on your choice here, it's going to filter out people in the next section who wouldn't fit.
Got you. So I'm gonna give them permission
Cool.
because that just makes
Boom,
things
here we
easier.
are.
All right. So now we
So,
can select
yeah, we're on
curators.
the big list, right? So the very first thing we want to do is take a look at our genres.
Okay.
So you can either search, or did you?
Ta-da.
What you got in there? You got is it
Is it hip hop
Yes.
with a
with a dash? It's
with a dash? Okay. Hip hop.
You know what though? I could probably make that search. Skip the dashes and skip the spaces. I bet I could do that. Let me do that because then it will result in slightly better search results.
Okay.
Search genres equals skip dashes and skip spaces. Boom. Cool.
Wow.
I love doing this because I can try to figure out different things to make better.
Nice.
Cool. So you're going with just hip hop, straight up hip hop, conscious hip hop. Cool. You can choose up to 3 genres. You don't have to. But what happens is it generates that genre match score that you can see there. So this 10 spot radio hits actually has a 1 out of 5. Pretty bad.
Got you.
So the best thing you can do right now is sort by genre match,
Okay.
which is the 4th one down. So now what this is going to do, ear milk. Oh, we can have a chat about these guys. You probably know them, huh?
I've heard of them. Yes.
Okay. They're actually the most submitted to outlet on SubmitHub. But I'm going to probably recommend you, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. So what it's done now is it's showing us outlets that really like hip hop. And I'm doing this based on their history. So you can see the genre match is 5 out of 5 for most of these guys up at the top.
Okay.
And also at the end of each one, there's a bullet that says genre history, which sort of gives you a breakdown of what they've approved and what else they like.
Gotcha.
And so these, like, if you're going to look at anything when you're submitting, these are the two most important things I think to look at, because it just gives you an idea of whether you're wasting your time or not.
Okay.
So curators can choose any genre they want, up to a certain amount. Like, they're capped on how many they can choose, but we don't force them into any hole. We just look at their history and try to figure out what they actually like and don't.
Gotcha.
So on the very far right-hand side, you see a whole thing of numbers.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could go down and click on like a 3, right?
Okay.
And this is their genre match score, because that's what we're sorting by. So you'll see
Okay.
Going Solo here is a 3 out of 5 genre match, which is not great. And you can also see they also like, under genre history, indie electronic, electro pop, singer songwriter. It's like, so for me, that's just an obvious no.
Right. Right.
So those are the two things I look at, and they give you a really big clue up front of whether it makes sense or not. And I think this is where I get into the biggest mistake people do, is they don't pay attention to this, and they'd be like, well, I chose hip hop, so I'm going to send it to Going Solo. But just looking at these stats, I would probably say don't. Like, they've only approved 4 hip hop songs in the last year.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, that said, they've got a really low approval rate anyway. So to reset that thing on the right, you can actually click the 3 again, and it's going to reset that whole list.
Okay, cool.
Boom, we're back up to our 5s.
So back up to the top.
Yeah, and I tend to say anyone with higher than a 4 is probably good.
Okay.
And as you start to scroll down, you'll start to see that sort of note section become a little bit more scattered, and you can decide from there if they're good or not.
Gotcha. Now, with these, as far as how the credits work, do different curators take up different amounts of credits?
They do. So they can charge 1, 2, or 3 credits, and we don't set that ourselves, but they do have to go through a review if they want to increase their price.
Okay.
So for a long time, we were trying to justify price increases. We're like, you need to give us a reason why. And it all just ended up being the same reason of like, well, I want to spend more time on fewer submissions. All right. Fuck it. You just want more money. And it's fair. I understand. I get it. Like, most of the curators are earning about $100 to $150 per month through this.
Okay.
Ear Milk is earning a few thousand per month. So they're on like the extreme other end. But most of them are getting anywhere between 5 and 15 submissions a day. So that's, like $2 to $10 per day type of thing.
Gotcha.
Is what they're getting. So the price increase, they can set it on the left-hand side where there's a checkbox just next to their icon. You'll see there's also a dollar sign.
Okay. And so that'll tell you.
Vibe is $1. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess the other thing that's important is, we're looking at a whole bunch of different types of curators right now.
Right.
So I guess one question for you is what sort of coverage are you looking for? Are you looking for blog posts and playlists?
Yeah, so for this,
or just playlists?
Playlist is good, but he's got a video that I think is really eye-catching. So if like there's blog approval, then that helps get the video more eyes.
You know what else is really good about blogs that people forget about is SEO and Google search results. So you get a blog post, maybe 10 people look at it in a day. We still get, on Indie Shuffle, we'll probably get in the first week 3,000 or 4,000 views on a song. We used to get at least 10,000 in the first week. So we got a lot less now. But once your song gets reviewed by a blog, it's up there on Google. It's up. It's there. And so if anyone ever tries to find out more or looks for you, they're not just going to see like Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and all these links. They're going to actually see people writing about it. So I think that's a pretty cool element of the blogs. And the other one is it's good for sharing.
Yeah.
Because you got a social media following already. You got to keep them engaged. And so it's nice to have like, hey, everyone, Ear Milk wrote about me. Super cool. Go check it out.
Right.
It's a bit of like social validation, if you will.
Gotcha. So this one's got...
So if we're going to focus on blogs and playlisters, which I think is a good move, let's just go on the left-hand filter. You can scroll down a bit and you're going to see the type. We can just choose. So it's the top 2.
Okay. Is there an easy way to deselect all and then, or it's just
No, and also Ill Sound Vibe was one you chose, who's an Instagram influencer.
it's okay, no worries.
Yeah. The influencers are an interesting one, and we're just starting to sign them up now. I think I mentioned it at the start of the podcast, but it's an experimental phase.
Okay.
But a lot of these guys can do like 2,000, 3,000 views on a story, and that's, if they got your music sticker up there, that could actually result in quite a few plays, and you might actually get paid by Facebook.
Right.
So, okay.
So
I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Okay,
but
cool.
Two other things I look for here. The approval rate shows you the percent approved.
Right.
You can see there's two numbers. The first one is their approval of this specific genre, and the one in brackets is their overall approval rate.
Okay.
Also, this one's got a pretty low response rate, 27%. So sometimes they just don't respond.
Gotcha. This one's got a high response rate.
Yeah. So with approval rates, I think it's good to avoid people who have a really high approval rate. Anyone above 30% is tempting, but probably not worth it, because they're diluting their content. They're sharing too much. People probably aren't paying attention.
Gotcha.
But it could be different if it's a blog who actually writes good stuff. And so this gets to they're in weekend mode. So it says taking a break back in the day, get a reminder when they return.
I might as well get that reminder.
Cool. So with the blogs, one thing to look at is something called Really Good Bloggers, which is a group of blogs who actually blog. There's one right there, Grishkoff.
Okay.
So a really good blogger means that when they approve a song, they're going to write a blog post. They're not just going to send out a tweet or a repost or whatever. They're going to send a blog post. So I would pretty much skip anyone who is not a really good blogger.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing, so Grunge Cake probably is a good one, right? You can see they do also like commercial, alternative, contemporary R&B and rap. So they might have a slightly poppier edge, I would say, in general. They probably like more radio friendly stuff, but
Gotcha.
they're good. They love music.
Okay.
Chill Filter also, seems decent. But just once you start to hit people who have like a 1% approval rate, then it's got to be a really compelling reason to send.
Right.
We're also, today's Saturday, so you'll actually find a lot of these guys are in weekend mode, myself included.
Gotcha. Okay.
For their mental health. So go up just one here. This just Chill Select, that's a red flag. Check out the 47% approval rate.
Oh man.
Steer clear of that. I even have an exclamation mark. They're telling you to steer clear. And then this is another one. You see they've got their 5 playlists listed there. It shows you which playlists they often share to, and you can actually click on that, and you're going to get a whole bunch of statistics about the playlist, including their growth over time. Some pretty crazy growth of this playlist. So this is kind of gets to the point where I was saying, like, SubmitHub there's an overwhelming amount of data when you actually get into it, but if you use it to your advantage, it's going to help you quite a lot.
Right. And I mean, for me, I'm a marketer, and so the data is exciting, but I could see how for the average artist, it could be overwhelming.
It can be. And you know what? I told you to skip these guys, but actually, if you want to basically just get a pretty much guaranteed approval, well, not guaranteed, right? But if the odds are good, you're going to get a bite here. So actually, it might not, especially because they're only one credit, it might not be a bad idea.
Okay.
They definitely like hip hop. They got a 4.8 genre match here, and you can see they also like lo-fi hip hop and rap. So, I'll give you 2 other things to look at before I set you free.
Okay.
The right hand side near those numbers that we were looking at has some other things like recent shares, and that'll show you some of the songs that these guys have been sharing in hip hop specifically. And you can actually click play on any of these and listen to them right here, and you'll get a feel for whether you think your song is their vibe or not. I'm thinking I'ma do it, knock up in the stew and just.
Well, that's cool.
So you can listen to it. You know what's interesting though? I'm gonna put another note, because when you click play, that pop-up closed, then it might be difficult to know which one you're listening to.
Right. I mean, it does have this little thing over here.
I'm busy with my music.
I mean, what I mean is, like, which blog was this again? Like, you scroll
Oh,
2 times and you don't
got you.
know it was stream playlist, but you've lost track of it at that point.
Got
So
you.
that's something maybe I'll fix on my code, so you know which one you're listening to.
Got you. And see, this is interesting because it's a producer that my artist has worked with in the past, but
So,
they've reached their limit for submissions.
oh yeah, this sorry, man, I keep getting hit up by people who are at their limit.
Oh,
That's a
sorry.
feature I added yesterday.
Oh, cool.
So some of these guys were getting 50, 60, or 100 submissions a day, and they
Mm,
were requesting a way to just say, look, once I've got 50, cap it. Like, pause
right.
my submissions until I've cleared those 50.
Got
So,
you. Most of their
yeah, and
followers are
then quick
inactive.
facts, also a good one to just gloss over. So
Yes.
it's really hard to know how many listeners a playlist has, but we've got some pretty good data. We collect it from artists. In fact, Spotify's made it even harder to know. They used to show you how many listeners under the Discovered On section, and they got
Yeah.
rid of that.
Yeah.
So it's even harder, and we've still got some data. We've still got some pretty good data, and it'll give you an idea. So this one you can see average plays 30, 45. You can see it under each of those playlists.
Mm.
Um,
So
so it
yeah.
kind of gives you an idea of what you're going to get if you do get approved by them.
Got you. Pro mixed hip hop and trap.
I anyone between 5% and 30% is probably okay.
Okay.
I mean, like a 14%, I would probably send to these guys too.
Got you.
But again, you can go and listen to the stuff they like in the genre. This looks like it's all from last week.
I'll go ahead
Yeah,
and do that one. And I'll
cool.
probably add one more here. Oh, only accepting energetic songs you can work out to. Funny enough, that works for this
Is it?
song.
Okay, cool.
All right. So
And they got a 26% approval rate. So I think you're gonna find you can definitely increase the number of approvals you get by just paying attention to that metric.
right.
But the caveat is always the higher the approval rate, the more they're approving, and probably the more it's spread, right?
Right.
So that's the example of some of these YouTube channels who approve one song every 2 days, and they've got like a 0.5% approval rate. They actually have the biggest impact if you can get picked up by them.
Right.
But it's such a huge if that you're essentially throwing away your credits when you do it.
Got you.
So
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna submit to these 5 that we've gone through
cool.
now. And then and you said it's 48 hours generally is how long they have
If they
to.
don't respond within 48 hours, your credits get reimbursed to you. And
Okay.
you can use them for someone else. I think the average rate right now is somewhere around 85%
Okay.
for responses.
Cool. So then what I'm gonna
And
do,
sometimes they'll come in within 5 minutes of sending.
nice.
Boom, you'll get it. And sometimes it will be down to the wire. I've had people demand refunds because they got a response in the 47th hour.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, but it's still within the 48 hours. And they're like, no, but that's a clear sign that they were just trying to take my money. I'm like, how's it a clear sign? What? I don't. Anyway, they
Gotcha.
got 48 hours to respond, or else you get your credits back and they can't earn any credits. They could still respond after that. For Indie Shuffle, we often, if you get stuck on a song and you're just on the fence, you're like, it's pretty good, I need to listen to it a few more times. Often we'll pass that 48-hour mark. So they'll get their credits back, and then we'll still go ahead and say yes.
Got you.
So it can happen, but once the 48 hours mark has gone by and you haven't gotten a response, it's best to just move on.
Okay.
And you'll also be able to see, when you open up your submission, you'll be able to see all the interaction history. So you'll be able to see if Fit League has listened to it 7 times but not made a decision yet. And then you'll be like, okay, well, they're still thinking about it.
Got you. Okay.
So everything is there for you to see. You'll be able to see exactly how long they listened, when they listened, how many times they listened, all there.
Nice. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit submit. And
So that's going to ask you for your quick pitch.
okay.
This is shown to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. So it can be up to 200 letters, which is actually pretty chunky. But it's sort of your way to, boom, get them. Some people spend a lot of time and they send to one outlet at a time. So you selected 5, I think.
Yes.
But they'll actually go and they'll write a unique quick pitch here for every single one. So they'd be like, hey, Fit League, I know you're looking for some, exercise music, and I really think this is the right one for you. And then they'll go to the next one and like tailor it. It's a lot of extra work, but it can increase your chances of success.
Got you.
Yeah.
Put a smiley.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So I'll go ahead and submit. And so we've got these 5 submissions. And what I'm going to do for the sake of this video, I'm going to stop this part here. But of course, I'm going to come back when we get the results and see how everything goes.
Cool. You can see on the left, you got your song, and then you got your campaigns tab.
Okay.
So you can edit your campaign. It's down, down. Boom, there it is.
Okay.
And then also, I should probably make this a bit more obvious, but you can click on Pat Jr.'s name up there and fill out his artist profile.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is also visible on your homepage. So actually, if you go to your homepage right now, you're going to see there's your submission up top, shows you your history, but it's also got your artists if you scroll down just a little bit, and you can go ahead and edit that profile.
Okay, perfect. Now with this, because I know I signed up as a manager, can anyone have multiple artists on their profile?
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of publicists and record labels who are managing hundreds, if not, publicists in particular just cycle through artists, right? So there's a lot of accounts on here where they've sent songs for like 500 plus artists, and they're all managing it from the same single account. So you can do it that way.
Okay.
I haven't set up any way to share, like have a team of publicists. No one's pushed too hard for that, so I haven't coded it just because that's a shitload of work.
Right.
But yeah, you can go here. I would definitely edit your profile.
Okay.
It's going to be shown to the people. They can see it.
Okay.
And what else was I going to say? Oh, we didn't even touch on it, but there's a feature called Hot or Not on SubmitHub.
Where's that? Oh,
in the
here.
top menu right there. Yeah. So you rate other songs, and they rate you back.
Okay. And if you leave...
And so this is something... Yeah, so if you leave feedback with people, you can actually earn free premium credits.
Nice.
So I actually pay artists to give each other feedback. It's a really good tool for... it might not be worth your time, but if you're an independent artist and you're stuck at home and you don't have anything to do, this is a really good way to get other artists to listen to and rate your music.
Okay.
Also to expose yourself to a lot of music, and it's real, it's genuine, it's not paid for, like it's actual listeners.
Yeah.
So what you would do here is you choose, you click get started, you choose 3 genres, and then it's just gonna take you straight through to the 1, 2, and you can edit them afterwards as well.
Okay. Cool. So R&B.
Cool, and then start rating. Cool. So now, this just gives you a look of what. So it's just a spinning circle, and you have to try to catch it at the right time. Now, what the heck's going on? Oh man. You know what? That's very anticlimactic.
No.
Try fetch a new song. Oh, I'm gonna fix that tonight.
Okay.
I added that fetch a new song a couple of days ago because what happens, you got your genres on the left here. If you start editing those, it would actually update in sort of real time, the song on the right. And people, so you go and you choose a genre and you hit save genre choices at the top there.
Oh, at the top.
It would automatically...
Wait, where does it say?
The orange button at the top.
Up there. Cool.
Yeah, so right there, when you hit that, it would go and fetch new songs. Boom, straight away.
Gotcha.
And people would be like, no, I'm in the middle of listening to this song. And so that's why I have is fetch a new song. But the bug I just saw is that if you're a first-time user and you are choosing your genres for the very first time, it still requires you to click fetch a song.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
No problem.
For helping me there. So what you see here, these are songs that people put forward. This one's a premium Hot or Not request, which means that they get to ask 3 different things for you to rate. So they can be like rate my originality, the free ones, they're just a thumb up, thumb down.
Got you.
And then if you scroll down a bit, you can see any feedback for them, and that's where you can actually earn credits. So
Okay.
basically, there's something like 12,000 ratings per day right now.
Wow.
So it's definitely taking off, and I think I'm giving away close to 200 credits a day.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, for one, it gives artists a way to take a break from, all that pressure of pitching their own stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of puts you in the curator's spot for a second. But that's cool. You can help each other out and you can earn credits, especially if you're one of those artists who's like, okay, this always cost me money. There's a way to do that.
Yeah, and it's a nice way as well. I've seen some people use it to test out demo tracks. So if they're not sure if it's the right song, it's not finished yet, but they just want to see are people driving with this, they can put it on here and collect a bunch of data and see if it's worth pursuing or not. Or if you've got 2 singles and you don't know which one to go with, put it on here, get 50 votes for each one, and see which one does better.
Got you.
So there's a few different ways it can be used, and in the top left you'll see there's a charts button just above the album artwork, so you can actually see who's doing well right now.
Nice. This is really cool.
Yeah, it's a website that just keeps on giving, man. Check that. There's that popular chart as well next to hot or not up there. We didn't even touch on, but this is me attempting to take on Hype Machine's popular chart.
Got you.
No one will ever be as influential as they once were.
Right.
But that's what I'm doing there. So that's it. That's a high level SubmitHub.
Well, this has been great, and you doing this overview is a lot better than the overview I would have ended up doing. So, thank you for that.
Cool. No way.
Cool.
Yeah,
well,
FAQ, all sorts of stuff, and then there's the chat rooms on the right as well, which a lot of people.
So what is this? Are these people talking to each other? I thought it was like a stream of tweets. Is what?
No, there's people talking to each other in the chat rooms. So. The chat function started as a way for artists and blogs to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I approve a song and open up a chat between me and you because we were trying to get rid of emails. Like that was the whole point of SubmitHub, was to not do it by email anymore.
Right.
And at the time, I also threw together a couple chat rooms just for fun. So there's like a private bloggers chat room, a private record label chat room.
Mm-hmm.
There's this artist chat room you can see. There's also the support chat room where people come and ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a chat room.
Got you.
People chatting. You can see right there.
Nice.
Omar doesn't know how this works. Maybe he should watch your video. So I'm probably going to jump in after this. I'm going to go answer some of those questions in the chat room. I'll probably link Omar to another guide that's been published. But that would have been a good time to put yours up.
Got you. Well, I'll have this up by the end of the week. Once I get the results and everything, we'll go ahead and edit this all together.
Brandon, tomorrow's Sunday. That's the end of the week. Good luck.
My bad. End of next week.
Yeah, no rush, cool. Man. Things. We're on a different time schedule these days, anyway.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking so much time for the interview and then walking me through the platform. This has been great.
Thanks for listening.
No problem. All right, guys. So it's been a little bit over a week since my SubmitHub campaign ended. And I want to show you the results because they were a little bit surprising. I got results really, really quickly. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right. So this is my SubmitHub homepage. And as you can see, when it directs you to the homepage, you go straight to my submissions. So I have one campaign for the song Rest by my artist, Pat Jr. I sent it out to 5 people. All 5 of them got back to me, and I got approved twice. So that's a 40% approval rate, which is really good. Now, the first approval actually came over. What is this? Why not approved? Oh, because it's already been shared. So the first approval actually came over pretty quickly, and that was the approval from Tech of The Word is Bond, right? So he decided he wanted to put it in a top submissions feed or blog post. And so he asked a few questions, but I literally got this approval maybe 2 hours after I submitted the track. So that was really cool. Then what I saw was that I got denied, 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 and then I didn't get the last approval until after the 48-hour window had actually expired. So I actually ended up using less credits, which is something that Jason said could happen. But my second approval was from Chill Select. They have a ton of Spotify playlists, and they added us to their, I think it was called their Trap playlist. Let's see. Yep, it's called the Trap Game. It's got 1,300 people who follow it, so that's really cool. So yeah, we got shared on one playlist, and we got shared on this blog post from The Word is Bond. Now, what's cool about this is it was relatively low effort. It didn't take a lot of time. You actually saw me go ahead and do all that while I had Jason on the phone. So I was kind of rushing through the submission process. But when you decide that you want to take it seriously, you absolutely can, and you can get even better results than I did. So just these very, very simple, maybe 15 minutes spent going through the SubmitHub website using their premium credits, I was able to get approved twice. So that's really cool. Now let's look at the submissions that were not approved, because we actually did get feedback from all of the places that did not want to watch it or did not want to post it. So some of the feedback we've got from Grunge Cake, which is a pretty big rap blog, says, didn't take me away vocally, so I'm going to pass. Okay, cool, I get it. Another one says, hey, thanks for sending this to me. The production needs some work, in my opinion. The EQ sounds kind of flat. Needs some presence brought to it in the high end. That's really subjective, but I get it why he didn't want to listen to it or didn't want to share it. Now here's one that didn't make as much sense to me. Dope track. Love the energy in this one. However, I just personally didn't find it quite as motivating for my workout playlist. It sounded like a workout song to me, but again, it's his playlist. This is all subjective, so no hard feelings. And then, of course, Chill Select decided to approve it in a Spotify playlist. So that was really cool. And then so Tech also added it to his blog post. All right, guys, so as you can see, I got some pretty favorable results on my first time pitching through SubmitHub. So of course, you want to make sure your song is a quality song. You want to make sure you read through some of these profiles that you're pitching to so that you know where you have the best chance. Of course, Jason says the average approval rate is about 12% across the whole platform. I only submitted to 5 places, but I got a 40% approval rate. So it is possible to do better than that. I'm sure that as I subscribe or as I submit to more outlets, that average will go down a little bit. But I had some great results my first time around, and I think you should absolutely try SubmitHub out for yourself. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know how your results go. Have you ever tried using SubmitHub? Did you get terrible feedback? Well, use some of these best practices and maybe it'll get better for you. But until next time, be safe, keep dreaming, work hard, and make those dreams reality. We'll see you soon. Peace.